The first thing my grandmother did was slam her hand down on the table hard enough to rattle the silverware. I still remember the sound more than the words. That sharp, ringing clatter of forks and spoons jumping against china, the way the room went silent except for the hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen. Every conversation stopped mid-sentence. Even the football game in the living room felt like it lowered its voice. And then she yelled my name. Not called it.
Not asked for me.
She yelled it, sharp and loud, like she was accusing the air itself of something it already knew. I froze. I didn't know what she was talking about. Or maybe I did, in some quiet corner of my chest that I hadn't dared to open yet. All I know is that when her eyes locked onto mine, I felt 12 years old again, standing in her hallway with my shoes still on, afraid to move, afraid to breathe. I have no idea about it, I heard myself say. The words came out small.
Weak.
Almost childish. And in that moment, with my whole family staring at me over plates of turkey and mashed potatoes, I realized Thanksgiving was never going to feel the same again. This dining room table that had been refinished so many times, you could still see faint rings from coffee mugs decades old. She took pride in that table, said it held the weight of our family history. I usually arrived early to help, not because anyone asked me to, but because it gave me something to do with my hands. I'd peel potatoes, stir gravy, wipe the counter even when it was already clean. The kitchen always smelled like onions, sage, and something sweet baking in the oven. Pumpkin pie, usually, though sometimes she'd throw in an apple just to keep things interesting. My grandmother was not a gentle woman. She loved hard and corrected harder. Growing up, she had a way of looking at you that made you want to confess things you hadn't even done yet. But she was also the glue. The reason we all showed up. The reason arguments were paused, not resolved, but paused long enough to pass the rolls. I was 34 that Thanksgiving. Married, no kids yet, working a job I didn't love, but didn't hate enough to leave. From the outside, my life looked steady, respectable. I had learned how to keep my feelings folded neatly, like napkins on a holiday table. No one ever accused me of causing trouble. That was my role. The quiet one. The dependable one. The one who didn't make scenes. My husband, Daniel, teased me about it sometimes. Said I was emotionally Switzerland. Neutral, calm, impossible to read. I laughed when he said it, but there was truth in it. I'd grown up learning that peace was something you preserved by staying silent. That Thanksgiving morning, nothing felt different at first. I parked along the curb behind my cousin's car, grabbed the pie I'd brought, and walked up the familiar steps. The door was already open. Laughter spilled out into the cold air. Someone yelled, "She's here," from inside. I remember thinking, this is good. This is normal. I hugged a few relatives, handed off the pie, and slipped into the kitchen. My grandmother stood at the counter, apron tied tight around her waist, hair pinned back the way it always was on holidays. She glanced at me, nodded once, and went back to basting the turkey. That nod meant approval. It always had. Dinner was set for 3 o'clock. By 2:30, the house was full. Kids running down the hallway, men arguing over football stats, women balancing plates and opinions. I sat near the end of the table, next to my mother, across from my grandmother. At some point, I noticed my grandmother watching me more than usual. Not glaring.
Just observing.
Her fork paused midair once or twice. Her eyes lingered when she thought I wasn't looking. I told myself I was imagining it. The first real clue came when she asked, "So, how's work going?" halfway through the meal. It wasn't the question. It was her tone. Too casual. Too flat.
"Fine," I said.
"Busy, but fine." She nodded, took a sip of water, and said nothing else. No follow-up.
No commentori.
That should have been my warning. My grandmother never left a topic unfinished. A few minutes later, she asked Daniel how his parents were doing. He answered politely, smiling, completely unaware of the tension crawling up my spine. My mother leaned over and whispered something about the stuffing being dry. I nodded, but I wasn't listening. I felt like I was waiting for something to drop. It happened after dessert was served. Plate scraped. Coffee was poured. Someone cracked a joke about how we all ate too much every year and never learned. That's when my grandmother set her cup down slowly, deliberately, and placed both hands flat on the table. The room quieted on instinct. She didn't raise her voice right away. That came later. First, she said my name. Just once. I looked up. "What is it you think you're hiding from this family?" she asked. My heart stuttered. I'm not sure what you mean." Her eyes hardened. "Don't do that.
Don't play dumb with me."
Every face turned toward us. My mother stiffened beside me. Daniel's hand found my knee under the table. "I have no idea about it," I said again, and this time my voice shook. That's when she slammed her hand down. And that's where everything began to unravel.